Morning everyone, another fantastic day. Sun's a little bit behind us today, absolutely beautiful, a little bit cool, probably about 3 degrees at the moment. Just walking along with Tor, and I was thinking about what some clients have been talking about recently, ringing up guys, just finding out, refreshing, what are your top challenges right now? And there's a few subjects come up, but one of the ones I haven't really addressed in the video so far is actually about cash. And the way I look at cash is there's really three types of cash. You've got operating cash, you've got supply chain cash, and you've got what I call strategic cash. So operating cash is probably where most people should be focused. This is what you need to pay the wages and stuff like that. And there's really two components. One is getting people to actually look at every line on the P&L, the profit and loss account, looking at all those items of expenditure. What's the money that's leaking out of your business every single day that you just don't have, or you haven't made the time to think about, but actually it's costing you just that little bit more than it possibly should be, and in some cases a lot more. What are the contract renewal dates when you've got those warnings in advance before something rolls over and you get locked in again, that you should be putting things out to tender? And there's various sort of things you can do with a lot of your suppliers to fairly instantaneously trim those costs back a bit. So that's the cost side. Then there's the payment side. Actually, so the money that you're owed, and if you think about it, if you're £1 million business, every month of cash is worth, by definition, £84,000, right? And if you think about roughly 20 working days, then, divide by 10, that's about 8.5, divide by 2, you're at four something, just over £4,000 a day is the value of a debtor day to you. So if you've got your accountant or your software producing your debtor days, then that's a great KPI to work on, because every day you take off debtor days, that's £4,000 in the bank. Oh, he's found a mate to play with. And a lot of businesses, again, they don't make the time, and then they wonder why they're running out of cash because they haven't collected it. And some of that is a cash collection process, some of that is the wrong kind of customers, the wrong segment of the market. There's all kinds of quite good reasons why things don't work out. But too often the business owner is a bit like the boiled frog. And if you haven't come across the expression before, if you put a frog in boiling water, so the water's already boiling, and drop the frog in, the frog will do its best to jump straight out again because of the thermal shock. But if you put the frog in cold water, put the gas on slowly, and gradually warm the frog up until the water's boiling, you will in fact just boil the frog. The frog won't notice that the water's getting hot. And this is what life is like for business owners, is you don't quite realise how things are going because you're in it day to day, and you tend to forget how things degrade over time, and suddenly you're owed a lot of money by a lot of people, and you're the one that's in trouble, being the bank for everybody else. So it's really important to rigorously assess your customers, to have a rigorous cash collection process. And the other one, I guess more the strategy side of it, is choosing what sector to service. I'll go stone throwing time in a minute. Choosing what sector of the market to service so that you're not at the bad end of terrible payment delays. So you're not, people aren't doing your 90, 120 days. Why would you serve a market that has those kinds of payment terms? It'd only be because you felt you had to, yeah? So that's really the operating cash. Then we look at supply chain cash. Obviously it's money, it's the same stuff, but here it's where it's tied up It may be in goods, in imports, with suppliers where you're needing to spend money to get the products in that you need to supply to your customers. And again, how many people really have a degree in supply chain management? Many companies don't even have a stock management system, and as they get bigger it's something they're sort of forced into so they can maintain control. But actually the right kinds of systems and processes, the right kind of strategy again with how your supply chain's organised, can save you tons and tons of cash. I used to make my living with that. Me and a couple of friends, our consulting business, little global firm, because we worked all over the world. We used to specialise in saving companies millions and millions of dollars or euros or Deutschmarks or whatever it was in those days. And the same is still true for the smaller businesses. When you start analysing your supply chain properly, it's amazing how much cash you can drill out of it. And then the third category, particularly relevant today with a lot of changes going on in quite a few industries. I mean, the lettings one is the classic one at the moment, with the government's legislation coming in on the landlord side saying, oh, you can't have a buy-to-let property and offset your tax against your mortgage interest. So that's causing buy-to-let investors to leave the market. So loss of business for letting agents. And on the other side, the agents themselves are being forced into not charging tenants fees. That's apparently unfair. Charging someone to find out who they are, their identity, that they're a worthwhile tenant, all those things. No, you're not allowed to do that. It's naughty. So now a lot of letting agents think are selling up their businesses. So for those who've accumulated a cash pile and have got streamlined, effective businesses, it's an ideal time to go out and start acquiring, so that you can build up your business by acquisition rather than organically. Of course, if you haven't got a solid balance sheet, that's a bit more difficult to do. There are sources of cash out there, but it's a question of building your business plan, looking at the deal, saying how is this going to add to my cash flow positively rather than be a cash drain, and therefore do the numbers actually stack up. So for a lot of people that haven't, some clients I know who are naturally acquisitive, so they're always looking at businesses. Others don't even think about it. So here's a question for you. If you did think about it, what kind of business would you acquire? What would it cost? Where would you find the money? And what difference would it make to your business? How would that extra scale help you? So just a quick run through the three types of cash. The operating cash, supply chain cash, and the strategic cash. Which one is most important to you? Maybe pop a comment in the box below, and let's see what's on people's minds. So that's John out with Tor. Lovely sunny day, slightly cool. I've put my glove back on. It's only 3 degrees, so my hand's feeling a bit cold right now, and we'll see how we get on. Bye for now.